Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Entitled Parents. Story 1. My mom hit me with an insult that sort of just destroyed me. I'm a 17Y/0 only child. My mom has been having a rough time lately. She's been trying for relationships with men, and they haven't been working out. She keeps trying, but just like clockwork eventually it all turns to sh*t. Even so, I've been trying my best to be her cheerleader because I know she needs it. Even today she had to write a letter to cut somebody off, and I know that was a difficult thing for her to do, so I tried my best to encourage her. Even in saying this, I don't want to make myself out to be a saint. I don't do everything I know I'm supposed to do. I have a really bad memory, so most times I forget to do chores that my mom says, or I just don't have the motivation to. I'm very disorganized and I claim that fact. For a while when I first organize something it looks nice, of course, for example my room, but after a bit it gets messy and junky and it piles up. Then one day I get a burst of energy to clean it, and this cycle continues over and over. With dishes, for some time I'd clean them without being asked, but that didn't last long since I lost motivation. And as for the trash, I usually forget to take it out when it's trash day. I don't want to make my mom out as a saint either though. A lot of the stuff I know I deserve because I know I don't try hard enough, but there are times where she just makes me angry and sad. She thinks she owns me just because she birthed me, and that she has the right to do whatever she wants, and I have proof of it. It doesn't get me that she does and attempts to do physical harm, it's when she insults me, or yells at me. For example, I didn't collect the trash and put it on the curb in the morning because I got distracted and decided to take a shower. It got dark and I hadn't done the trash. So I decided to just do it in the morning. I ended up oversleeping, and I got woken up to my mom screaming. She was mad cause the trash was already pretty full, and now we had to wait another week. Maybe I'm just being sensitive, but I didn't think it was that serious. In the end I know situations like that could have been avoided if I'd planned better, but I'm horrible at that too. But the whole meaning of the post is what's down below. Today, a couple hours after I got home plus the letter situation, she called me down and told me I never do what I'm supposed to do. So she basically called me lazy, which is her go-to. She was reorganizing stuff in the kitchen cause she said I didn't do it right. Then she said I don't put anything back right, and that I'm supposed to make her life easier by doing what I'm supposed to do, which is fair I guess. Some of the stuff she was reorganizing wasn't stuff I put up though. Then she started to say she has mental health issues, like always, and that she's trying her best. I'm not putting her mental health to the side cause I know it's a real thing, and that mental health is fragile. It's just that she uses that as her point in almost every argument. She doesn't know, and I'd never let her know, but I struggle with my mental health too, and after what she said, she made things worse for me, and I resorted to a bad coping mechanism. The insult she used that made me shut down was, "You kinda just exist." I know the insult might seem lame, but the statement really stabbed me in the heart. It's something I use as an insult to myself, but to hear my mom say it hurt. I used a bad coping mechanism in the end. I thought I was doing well. TLDR, my mom used an insult that really hurt me. She said, "You kinda just exist." The reason it hurt is because it's an insult I use on myself. I tried not to be sensitive to everything she was saying, but I resorted back to using a bad coping mechanism, and I'm sitting here wanting to cry. I hate crying, so I'm just gonna dissociate with my technology until I go to sleep. Edit 1. Things she's said to me. 1. I'm gonna mess you up so bad it'll be worth going to jail for. 2. I'm your mother, I have the right to hit you if I want to. 3. You dress DY-ish. 4. It runs in your family, being gay. 5. Well, you can't win them all. 6. You're not a boy, you're a girl. I'm a bi-trans guy, but I'm not out yet, and I have no plans on coming out to her anytime soon. I know her threatening me like this isn't something she should do, but for a long time I thought it was normal. Edit 2. She takes medication, and she has a therapist, but she still acts the same way. Maybe a bit better, but still. Edit 3. I have a job, I take AP classes, and I major in art at my school. Edit 4. I want to quit my job, they're gonna see what I did, my mom's probably gonna see what I did. And it's summer. Story 2. She wants her syrup. Hi. Long-time reader here, and this is my first ever post in this subreddit, so please go easy on me. Also, one of my first wild Karens in the wild. So, a few years ago, I was working in a certain coffee kiosk in a grocery store, no asking which one it is, I like my privacy, and this woman with her kid walked up to the kiosk. Mom, hi, I'd like a bottle of this syrup and that syrup, please. Me, sure thing. So I grab the 2 bottles and I see that one doesn't have a barcode. Me, sorry ma'am, but I can't sell you that bottle. There's no barcode on it. Mom, just scan that syrup and give me that syrup. That's what we used to do when I worked here. Me, I'm sorry, but I can't. We've been told and trained that we aren't allowed to sell products without barcodes. At this point, the daughter starts whining at her mom, and the mom glares at me and says those oh so dreaded words. She demon, I want to talk your manager. My operator, who was beside me jumps in, hi. I'm the manager. Sorry ma'am, but we're not allowed to sell that bottle. Kiddo starts crying about wanting cake pops and the she-demon takes her spawn away with a huff. It's their fault that we couldn't get what we wanted. TLDR, she-demon wants syrup, we say no, and Kiddo cries about not getting a snack. Edit, so, because a few people were curious about the syrups, only a select few syrups are available for retail sale. All the other syrups aren't. She wanted a bottle that we couldn't sell. Story 3. Father kicked me out. I'll try to give a summary because the history is really long, so keep in mind that I will not expose every event and details. Back to 2021, my parents got divorced, and most of the household goods, like towels, dishes, cutlery, etc., were bought by my mother and she was the one leaving the house, and left those goods too because I stayed in the house with my father. 2 months after, my father started dating my mother's friend, who I never got along with because she is a problematic person, and has a really bad reputation among our community. I had a fight with them because she was not only staying in the house after I asked to not bring her over, especially when my father was traveling for work, but also entering my room and touching my stuff. They are both compulsive liars and I found her stealing my clothes, some of them brand new, and then calling me fat by saying does it look like we wear the same size. And my father humiliated me so much and stood by her side so I decided to leave because I pretty much didn't have any other option. He did a lot more weird stuff like cancelling my SIM card without telling me knowing that I was living abroad and couldn't buy a card from our country and constantly lying, including about his debts, which put me and my mother in trouble. Now they apparently have a kid together, look like zombies, he lost everything, the cars, our apartment, and me, constantly drunk and the social workers were going to their new house because someone reported that the baby was living under terrible conditions. Now he blames me and my mother for his situation and is obsessed with us, claiming that I'm evil because I don't want to have any contact with him after all his lies and feels entitled to respect and some kind of relationship, even though he was the one ruining everything. Story 4. Entitled parent demands that another child give their support to her child. This is a slight continuation from a previous post and this entitled parent has returned for another round. I would have updated sooner but my laptop charger broke and I still need fingers thanks. Short recap, EP had stormed it after discovering of our additional help for certain kids. However, her kid didn't need this support so she was denied and she had a fit over it. Now, on to the shorter continuation. So about a week and a half later, EP returned with her kid. Now, I wasn't there this time but the head teacher told me what went down. She had gone to meet with the parent after the incident last time. The EP went on a tangent about how the school system is broken and her child shouldn't suffer for it. It's true but there's nothing we can personally do I believe. Obviously, she got turned down again and she went into a mental rampage. Apparently, she began screaming bloody murder at the head teacher to the point where you'd think she was being killed. The head teacher just continued to calmly explain how that wasn't how this system worked at all. EP wasn't taking any of it though and continued to screech like a bird. Now, an assisted student walked by, same one I work with occasionally, to leave as she left 5 minutes early last lesson. The head teacher gave her a little wave goodbye, but EP used what little brain cells she had to piece together that this girl had the assistance she wanted. She said word for word, "I want my child to have her support." Both the head teacher and girl apparently froze with disgust as the girl quickly rushed to the exit reasonably. "Ma'am, your child cannot just have her support. You won't give her any support, so give hers to someone who needs it." The head teacher was fuming by this point and quickly called security again, and she was banned from entering the school unless it was for an emergency or major issue. And she screamed true bloody murder, to which the art classes could hear even. However, the head teacher had her removed and now she's blocked from ever returning. She deserves it, to be fair. And there's your update. It's a bit shorter, but oh well. Story 5. Very short update regarding my entitled dad and my ankle surgery. So this is a reply to this post. It won't be long but felt like talking about it. So my appointment is the morning after tomorrow. I've been getting everything ready for the surgery and rehab, and while I'm scared, I'm still confident that things will go smoothly. Well, my mom called me this morning to tell me that my entitled dad talked with her. He was planning on driving up 12 to 14 hours to get me and have me stay with him for the entirety of my recovery, but he couldn't drive up due to being unable to get days off from his job, and was wanting my mom to drive me down for him. She managed to get him off my back by fully telling him that I have more physical therapy appointments afterwards, and that she has full confidence in the recovery plan and that he needs to step back and let things go at my pace and not his. He also complained about having me move down to my birth state because he needs family, he can't do anything on his own, and she told him off that I've been doing much better than anyone could have predicted in the almost 6 years of living independently in my city. He didn't believe it, but he knew he wasn't gonna convince her to side with him, which is surprising. The main reason I posted this is because he was actually planning that. Planning to come up and take me to his place, without even consulting me about it. I'm sadly not surprised that he was going to try that. Horrified? Yes, but not surprised. I'm just relieved my mom fully stood by my side and managed to get him to back off. I doubt it'll be for long and that he'll try to call and be back on his bullshit, but even in the off chance he actually does drive up to try something, I'm now mentally prepared to get the cops on speed dial should the worst outcomes happen, i.e. him trying to take me by force or trying to break into my apartment. Update: talked with the manager of my apartment building about what happened. She's putting him on a list to make sure he can't get into the building, and that the cops will be called if he comes around to make trouble. We'll do the same thing with the doctors and rehab team tomorrow. Update 2: surgery went well and I've been relaxing in the room for about 6 to 7 hours. Gave Dad the information diet and told him as little as possible when he called, and called despite how tired I am, when my mom told him to text me while I'm at the hospital. Well, even after being told twice that his idea of having me stay with him for recovery, he brought that up again. I fully told me that is not necessary, and he jokingly said, he gives options and I shoot them down. Well, joke's on him, he's on the no-visit list. I highly doubt he can find the time to come up, but I like to see him try. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.